Have you ever noticed that silence that seems to say everything? The way he looks at you when he thinks no one's watching? He thinks of you when the world slows down, even if he doesn't speak. And often, the heart speaks louder than any word or grand gesture. Can you feel that? Or are you confusing silence with indifference? Because at the deepest level, there is an invisible connection, a non-verbal layer that only the soul can sense. And that connection is the purest sign that he is more in love with you than he even realizes. Something logic alone can never explain. Carl Jung taught us that what we are unaware of manifests in life as destiny. And in love, this rule is even more true. When signs are too subtle for the mind to perceive, they reveal themselves through symbols, deep emotions, and silent messages from the universe. So, what should you look for? How do you recognize this love that goes beyond logic, pulsating in the depths of the unconscious? Let's start with the first sign: the gaze that doesn't lie. He, even when trying to hide, looks at you differently, attentive, almost reverent, as if you're part of his soul he never knew how to recognize. It's the look that slowly flies, a silent flight revealing a soul that recognizes yours, even if he doesn't understand it consciously. Have you noticed how he begins to see details others miss? Maybe your smile changed, your posture shifted, or your energy felt different when you spoke. These details aren't mere coincidences, they're projections of a connection manifesting at the core of each of you. Jung said that when the soul recognizes another soul, it sends signals. And these signals aren't spoken with words, but with a silent vibration of the heart. Like a whisper crossing time, space, and even mental barriers. Another powerful sign is how he shifts around you. Perhaps, at first, it's hesitation, a vulnerability beneath a mask of indifference. But as the relationship deepens, you see him more fragile, more human. Things he used to hide begin to show, a subtle insecurity, a desire for protection, or a concern he can't control. In that moment, a truth reveals itself. He begins to care for you without even realizing it. It could be a simple gesture, a reminder of something you once said, or a quiet worry about your happiness and well-being. Because true love isn't expressed with grand words or promises, but through small gestures that transcend logic. Jung told us that symbols are the language of the soul, a symbol of love that quietly manifests in the way he protects, cares, and wants to keep you safe, even when no words are spoken. And what about when you're apart? Here, the real sign emerges. He starts to whisper your name in your mind, to think of you in ways that can't be explained. His energy becomes restless, longing for something only his soul recognizes when you're near. He may seem distracted, lost in thought, or trying to understand why his heart races when he hears your voice from afar. These small signs, this reflection of a soul that already chose you, are the greatest proof he's more in love than he admits. Remember, Jung said that what is not made conscious manifests as fate. So, what you see in these signs isn't chance or coincidence, but an invisible force that's already drawn him to you. And that force is the love existing before reason. An archetypal psychology that recognizes your essence, your soul, and understands love doesn't need words or grand gestures. It manifests silently, transforming and making the other feel that they belong in a universe whispering, "You are my choice." And if you sense those signs growing stronger, if your heart perceives this ongoing vibration, this silent force, pulling you both together, then know. You're witnessing a love deeper than he even understands, because in truth, the love born from the soul is an invisible force, shaping thoughts, impulses, and even the most subtle passions. It exists beyond words, beyond logic, expressing itself in signals only the heart can read. And if you feel these signs, if your intuition recognizes this connection, then you're aware. He, even without knowing it, is completely in love with you. And even if he doesn't speak a word, his energy speaks for him. Can you feel what he struggles to put into words? That charged silence when your eyes meet. And he seems to admire you, not superficially, but through a connection that transcends time, logic, and even language. In those moments, he becomes vulnerable without needing explicit courage because true love has never been about power or bravado. It's about silent surrender, about opening the invisible doors of the heart without fear of judgment or full understanding. This is a sign that goes beyond the obvious, when he begins to become quieter in your presence, yet his presence becomes more intense than any words could be. His silence is an embrace that surrounds your soul, a declaration that even in stillness, he feels everything his heart cannot fully express. And here's an important detail. Love that begins in the soul is silent because it doesn't need grand displays. It lives deep within, in the precision of small gestures, in subtle shifts in posture, in how he breathes when he's close, as if his essence is listening to an inner melody only awakened hearts can hear. When the connection is genuine, even distance intensifies that harmony. As you pull away, your thoughts become sharper, more sensitive to his slightest movement. As if an invisible string is attuned to your vibration, even if he doesn't realize it, you feel that silent pull that binds him to you. It's here we see that love, in its purest form, is an invisible force, an energy that travels beyond logic, beyond words, beyond the conscious mind. It's a universe of signs accessible only to the most perceptive hearts. So, pay attention. The deepest signs aren't in moments of grandeur, but in subtle transformations. The increase in care, the desire to protect without obligation, the tendency to seek your presence even when he's trying to hide how much he feels. He may withdraw, seem distant, but deep inside, he is always quietly searching for you. And when you notice this silent search, you realize the most genuine love is one that manifests in absence, through an energy that overflows in the intimacy of silence. Because love that begins in the soul cannot be explained. It reveals itself in how he looks at you, in how his body responds before his mind even catches up. Every gesture, every breath, every glance are signs that his connection surpasses the current emotions and reaches a level only the heart can understand. And as you understand these signs, you realize a fundamental truth. He has already chosen you unconsciously. His soul recognized your truth in that silent encounter, and that, more than any words or promises, is proof that, on the deepest level, you are already bound by an invisible destiny. When love is authentic, it doesn't need external proof. It manifests in the quiet of a soul that has found its home in the other. And this connection grows silently, day by day, until one day love's true essence becomes evident in the gentle dance of gestures, glances, and shared energies. So know this. If this love is present, even in silence, it's stronger than any noise or doubt. And with an open heart, you'll see that all that truly matters is this invisible alignment, that subtle vibration that connects two souls meant to find each other in the depths. And when you realize this love, silent and unspoken, is stronger than any words, you understand that what binds you is not just attraction, but an unseen, sacred recognition. A recognition that resides in the depths of your being, in the quiet, spaces where the soul whispers truths words could never express. This is the essence of authentic love. A shared language beyond the mind's grasp, rooted in the unwavering recognition of another's true self. Jung said that the unconscious doesn't lie. It communicates through symbols, through emotions, through the subtle signs that only the awakened heart can perceive. And so, if you're noticing these signs, the quiet changes, the unspoken connection, the energies that shift when he's near, then trust that your intuition is revealing what words cannot. Because true love, in its purest form, is a soul's decision, made long before the mind even catches up. It's a silent vow, a deep resonance that continues to grow in the unseen space between two hearts. A space where the soul recognizes its mirror. So pay attention to those subtle signs. The glance that lingers a second longer, the gentle concern that surfaces unexpectedly, or the way his energy feels different when he's with you. These aren't just fleeting moments. They are the language of the soul, whispering truths that only you can understand. And remember, Love that is born from the depths of the soul doesn't need validation from the outside. It simply exists, quietly, profoundly, endlessly. It transforms everything without fireworks or grandiose promises, because love, in its purest form, is a quiet force that reshapes reality from within. Hold on to that truth. Trust the signs, trust your heart, and know that even when he can't, find the words. His soul has already made the choice. Because sometimes love arrives in the silence, the most powerful speech the heart has ever known.